From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. And yeah, we got the typical summer heat. That's going to stick around for the rest of the week. But the good news is we're going to see a slight dip in our temperatures over the weekend, even cooler by next week. And when we look at the long range, I don't see any significant chances for rain or thunderstorms. Now, the rain, obviously, we'd like to see it, but the thunderstorms, no, not necessarily. And it looks like we don't have any lightning strikes in the forecast anytime soon. We take a look at your neighborhood forecast at a glance, and yeah, we're starting to see that downward trend. Yes, 103 is hot. 102 degrees in Trinity County is hot, but not as hot as it was yesterday, right? So again, we're in that downward trend. Siskiyou, Modoc, Eastern Mountains in the mid-90s. And of course, even some clearing along the coast with temperatures in the low 60s. So the smoke forecast, rinse and repeat. We're seeing most of the smoke over Chester and Susanville later on this afternoon and evening. It kind of settles down. It kind of settles down into many of those valleys. But then, again, same situation, mainly over Chester and Susanville, where the most dense smoke is expected to be. The winds, no big changes here either. We're continuing to see the overnight, early morning light winds turning over to a little breezy in some spots here, but nothing unusual, nothing alarming or to be concerned about here, even as we go into the first half of the weekend. The humidity levels are fairly low. They have been and will continue to be low, unfortunately. But as the temperatures drop over the next few days, we are going to also start to see an upward tick, that is, in our relative humidity levels going into the weekend, and in particular as we go into next week, but still low any way you look at it. And that keeps the fire weather risk fairly high. So the areas of orange and yellow, these are areas should a fire start, it could spread very rapidly, especially the orange areas. So that's going to be the case here as we go into this afternoon, tomorrow. I mean, it's that time of the year, right? There's just no big changes when we're looking at that overall trend here when the fire danger is high pretty much almost every day, especially in the valley. All right, in some of those higher elevations. But we are seeing some of this moisture kind of pushing on through. You see an area of low pressure right here spinning away, which, by the way, that's not going to be moving through us. But it's helping to kind of transport some of that moisture into Northern California. That's why we're seeing some of those clouds overhead, but obviously not having that much of an impact on us. You can see, of course, the marine layer really kind of holding on along the coast, and it's kind of spilling into some of those inland valleys, those neighboring inland valleys as well. That's the case here as we go into Friday afternoon, and then it kind of spills on in, gets pretty dense in some areas here, and then it tries to clear out again for Saturday afternoon. Once again, though, we are going to be watching some of those afternoon cumulus clouds, both today, tomorrow, and even into Saturday. And I don't anticipate any showers or thunderstorms. There are some forecast models indicating that maybe tomorrow there could be a stray thunderstorm or shower in Siskiyou County, but for now I'm going to keep that out of the forecast. But just be aware that's something I'm watching closely. This area of high pressure, the hotter air that's associated with it, it's moving on out. It's moving to the south and east. That's because if you look right here, we've got a very weak trough of low pressure. This is the beginning phases of the cooler air that's moving in over the weekend because, again, that's pushing the heat on out. Now, there is some cold air up over the Gulf of Alaska, and that's going to be mainly moving into Canada. But some of that will kind of break off and push a little bit to the south here. Now, the bigger impact will be in the Pacific Northwest, but you can see some of that cooler air, the trough of low pressure right here. A couple of things. Number one, this is dropping temperatures, but also that's helping to push that heat down to the south and east. So there is cooler weather on the way. We've just got to get through the rest of this week, and not to mention even this weekend. But there, take a look at the Climate Prediction Center, has us in the very lowest category of the below normal category. But at least we're in that category, right? We'll certainly take that. So here's what it looks like for the rest of the day today. Temperature is most likely 100 degrees or slightly higher in the valley. Some spots that are influenced by that marine layer, or should I say not marine layer, the delta breeze. Could be looking at temperatures maybe just below. But so I've got hazy conditions here to the east. Essentially what's happening is this. As you head into Chester, Susanville, mainly smoky here, especially by the afternoon and evening. Otherwise, other areas, some of that smoke will kind of spread north and southward a little bit here, giving you the hazy conditions here. But elsewhere shouldn't be that bad. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook, and we'll start off with the valley. Here's the downward trend. I mean, again, it's still hot for the rest of the weekend, even to go into the weekend, but we're down to 99, upper 90s by Sunday, low to mid-90s by Monday, even through Wednesday of next week. Taking a look at the coast, mid-60s. All right, that's the coolest spot, right? But you head inland, you head into Weaverville. Temperatures are dropping there, especially going into next week. For Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains, of course, there's the haze, there's the smoke that you're going to see there. But temperatures for pretty much most of the mountains should be kind of hovering around that 90-degree mark by Sunday. And then we're talking about temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for Monday through Wednesday. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you right here for your evening update at 6 o'clock.
We're the locals down the street. The neighbor you come to for advice. A nest egg for the golden years. A loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service, while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.